Okay, 14th time's a charm. So hopefully I've got enough daylight left here where this is going to turn out, and hopefully we have enough memory card left. Just real quick, simple field expedient video on the wax bullets. Was going to do this at the table, but figured it's a field expedient method, so do it in the field. Basically all we have here, a block that I just cut. Anything. The only reason I have that is to keep from marring up my shell holder on the cement block. Basic old decapping pen I had from an old reloading set. Any kind of punch that'll fit through the flash hole will work. Nail, the old cases we used to do with a nail. Just a real quick mention on that is a lot of people, if they're going to be shooting the rubber bullets, wax bullets, whatever, they will drill out the flash hole. That just gives it a little bit larger opening, since this is primer powered only, no powder. This is some of the new Federals we have, and as you can see, it's got quite a big flash hole. That's not drilled, that's the way that came from the factory. So before I run out of daylight time, and because my butt's sitting on a rock, basically we simply tap out your old primer. But back to the, if you do drill the flash holes out, make sure they do not get mixed up with any other cases that you're ever going to use again for live ammo. I just don't do it. Of course, I also don't run a whole lot of wax bullets, so, but that's a choice you have to make. But if you do drill them, keep them out of your ammo pile. Gently tap. And that's pretty much all there is to it. You don't want to whack on it. Doesn't take a lot to get these out. Again, the field expedient method here, if I was going to be doing these, I would just sit down at the reloading press and simply deprime them all at the reloading press. However, if you're out in the field, you got you a can of paraffin, have you a good blowtorch, cigarette lighter works just good too. You can do this in the field. So we have that done. Now, I attempted this just a moment ago, so I got my paraffin in there, and then I realized it's going to take that a long time to dry. So there's some paraffin in it. That was the only tin lid I could find. If I'm going to do this in the house, for example, a good flat bottom pan on the stove, put your block of paraffin in there, and that's all you have to do. However, generally I would just shave this off, put it in the pan, stick a cigarette lighter under it, or just use the blowtorch. I don't want to get it too hot because then it takes too long to solidify, and again, we don't have that much memory card space. But and when you melt it and let it drip in, and it'll start to dry, and that way it kind of self-levels. Generally what I find is basically the thickness, if it's about half the diameter of your caliber, then that's usually pretty good shape. Since I'm in a hurry, I'm going to sit here and blow on this and get started. Which I will get to a trick here in a minute. Okay, that's nice and level. So while we're waiting on that to finish cooling, priming tools are relatively inexpensive. This is what I've had this one for 20 years probably. Top's yellowed, but everything works on it. You can get the ones without the tray where you can single load them for maybe $10. These with the trays for the large and the small, and everything else are probably around $20 now if I had to hazard a guess. But We'll just stick some primers in here. I think I have 5 of these over here, so 5 primers it is. Shake them till they're, where's my camera? Non-shiny side up. And we simply prime the cases. And for the field expedient method, you can still do the old set the primer down on the wood block and take your dowel rod, stick down in there and drive it in and hope it doesn't go off on you. That's why you wear a nice pair of work gloves. I gotta turn around here. But now the trick with your wax is you don't want it completely cold, because as you know, the wax will shrink as it cools. If it's too hot or too soft, then it's going to shrink and be loose in the case. But the way you do this, simply push your case into the wax, and there is one wax bullet. Just keep cutting like donuts. If your wax starts getting a little too hard, you want it just soft enough where it will go in, but as I said, not the greatest camera in the world, but nice, clean, smooth, easy. I find if you push it in and just give it about a half twist, and it cuts. If you let it get too cold, it gets hard, and as we said on this paraffin, that's the reason that I melt it in the tin, because you're not going to push that into it. This is going to crumble. So if it starts getting too hard, simply reheat it. When you run out of space in there, you have too many holes, remelt it, let it set again. It's basically all there is to it. One thing I wanted to mention, which I think was in the last take but not this one, but just so you know, the plain old paraffin Gulf wax, canning wax, candle wax, multi-purpose. They sell this in the food section, most grocery stores. I think I gave around $2 for a 4-block pack of this. I use it for cooking, not usually for bullets, but you know, fairly inexpensive. If you're going to use candle wax though, or actual candles, the old white stick paraffin candles work fine. Even the colored stick candles, that's fine. That's just a dyed wax, not going to hurt anything. Your jar candles, especially the ultra scented, usually those have the scented oil in the wax and they're oily, and they will not solidify. They stay soft, which this is still soft as you can see, but that will harden as it cools. The oil keeps the wax from solidifying. Basically, if you take your jar candle, if you can stick your finger in it and smash it, or you know, just put little dents in it or something like that when it's cold, don't try to use it. But as I said, this is cheap. You can use the other, it works, it just makes your barrel greasy. Not a lot of fun to clean out of them, but they do work. But anyhow, just a quick, slow tutorial. We'll try these out tomorrow as I keep running out of daylight, and we'll go from there.